Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back discussing an alternate cut of Evil Dead 2. Alternate Cuts is the series in which Jason from Horrific Nightmares and I watch and discuss alternate versions of various films. This time we're covering a version of Evil Dead 2 that made its rounds in the convention circuit in the 90s and early 2000s. It's the Mexican TV cut of Evil Dead 2, or as I call it, the Mextended version. Evil Dead 2 was originally released in 1987, but in the early 90s, on Mexican TV, a severely edited version was played. This cut aired fairly regularly on Mexican television. But because it was so severely edited, alternate footage had to replace the footage that was removed. Oddly, this included deleted scenes not available anywhere else, and still not available to this day. Now, the version Jason and I watched is the full cut of Evil Dead 2, with those Mexican TV scenes added. That's why it truly is an extended cut, or the Mextended version. This alternate cut runs approximately 12 minutes longer than the theatrical version. For Evil Dead fans, and I'm talking die-hard fanatics of the franchise, the Mexican TV version of Evil Dead 2 was one of the holy grails for a while. Like I said, back in the 90s and early 2000s, bootleg copies would be passed around at conventions. This version of the film was the only way to see certain scenes. Jason said while we were watching it, "Thank God for VCRs. We wouldn't have a lot of this footage available to us if people didn't have a way to record things from TV back in the day." See? Physical media always mattered. Now, I won't go through every single change in this Mexican television version, because honestly, there are just too many. 12 additional minutes is a lot of extra footage. I will, however, describe just a few to give you a taste of this alternate cut. First, the opening credits are slightly longer and feature narration. A Spanish or Mexican male announces each name of the cast. There is new footage of Ash and Linda dancing when they first arrive at the cabin. There are extra shots of Ash searching for Linda in the woods. There's a brand new scene of him in the car, eating cereal out of the box. Suddenly, Ash starts choking, having swallowed the prize from the cereal box. He spits it out and acts disgruntled. Another new scene involving Ash eating is later on in the film, when he's out in the woods, possessed, and Annie is watching him back from the cabin. He picks up a squirrel and eats it. That is probably my favorite additional scene in this Mexican TV version. Don't worry, it's obviously not a real squirrel, and it doesn't look real either. But this is Evil Dead 2. It's an atmospheric scene, as he's in the misty woods, and you can barely see the squirrel. You hear it squeaking, and you know what it is, but it's clearly fake. It's just a really fun moment in a really fun movie. If I could choose any new scene from this cut to include in the original version, it would be that one. And although there is lots more I could mention, the last I want to discuss is during the climax. As Ash is pulled through the portal at the end of the movie, we get extra clips during this sequence. Much of the footage consists of newspaper headlines. It's actually a really effective way to show that Ash is traveling through time. Like I said, there's so much more, but that's just a tease. It's also worth mentioning that some of the new footage contains Spanish audio. Apparently, there was no English dialogue for those scenes. It makes sense though. After all, this is a Mexican TV version. This Mextended cut of Evil Dead 2 is somehow even more fun than the theatrical version. But the great thing about both versions existing is the fact that we have alternate cuts. Please be sure to check out Jason's video as well to hear his thoughts on Evil Dead 2, the Mexican TV version. Have you somehow seen it? If so, what do you think of it? And if not, what do you think of what I described? Comment below and let me know. Which alternate cut of which movie will we discuss next? Check back soon to find out. Until then, remember, physical media matters. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and be kind. Subscribe.